So you're probably wondering when the next video was, and let's get straight into it. So being that this is the first video in November, November is known for Thanksgiving, so let's be thankful for something. So this is 5 things that I love about the Veloster and I'm thankful for. The first one may not seem like a big deal, but one thing that I'm really grateful for is the fact that these all come with this really nice stereo standard, even if it's the base model. And that's actually something really cool that the Veloster kind of did that a lot of other cars don't. Especially if you look at the Kia and Hyundai lineup, a lot of their stereos are actually quite small. Some of them don't even have this nice larger display. So the fact that you got a fully loaded stereo with Bluetooth capability, Pandora, obviously you can connect your iPhone, iPod, auxiliary, things like that, or like me, who's always using a USB drive to have tons of music on here. Like, I think it's super cool that you just have such a large capability of things to do. And obviously it's a touchscreen, so I just, you gotta love that. Also, I'll show you in a moment, but if you were smart enough to get the tech package, or the nice thing is if you're really lucky and you guys opted for the tech package, whether you have a nav or the turbo, you guys got a slightly nicer stereo that looks something like this. However, if you have a 2016 model on up, which this one is, you can actually upgrade it so it can have Apple CarPlay and Google Auto integrated into it. It does have to be plugged in because only aftermarket stereos have the wireless capability, but this one is a much nicer look. You do sacrifice CDs, but a lot of you guys don't really care for that. I think I'm like one of those few old school ones that still appreciate CDs, so yeah. Number 2, while we're at the audio system, and the audio system is honestly a really important thing, especially for those of you that come from an older time where you were installing aftermarket subs and amps into your car. For being stock, if you splurged a little bit and spent a little more money on the nav model or every turbo model, they came with this really nifty Dimension audio system, and it's really cool because it's multi-speaker, so it's not so bad. You got your tweeters and your speakers. You actually have your mid speaker right on top of the dash, but you also get a nice sub, which I'm gonna go back here and show you real quick. Oh, there's my drink, but comes included with the sub. Now, for those of you audiophile guys, it's not going to be the most crazy or super high audio fidelity, but for the price that you're getting this for, it's a really nice addition. And for many of you, you're probably not even going to have to upgrade your stereo system because almost everything that you need is right there. So that is honestly a really nice perk. Number 3, while we're back here, cargo space. That's actually one of the coolest things about having a hatch, is just how much cargo space you have. This with the little cargo lid, but you can also put both rear seats forward to have even more space, and that's just a really cool thing. Believe me when I say that this has come in handy many times, especially because of the fact that I also DJ at times. So I've been able to carry my whole DJ setup from a very large expensive controller to 2 15-inch speakers in here with no problem. So that's super nice. Number 4 might seem silly, but for those of you who I believe had 2013 models on up, these came standard with a backup camera. So when you're backing up, the media player actually shows you where you're going into. And one of the reasons why I think this is one of the coolest additions is not only is it useful and it comes in very handy, but the integration of it. Because if you guys have seen other vehicles, the rear view cameras are usually kind of a little nub sticking out from the trunk or whatnot. The fact that Hyundai went all the way to actually include it into the body and kind of make it look seamless, A+. Love that little touch, amazing. And it's actually a great camera. It is basic, it doesn't have trajectory or anything like that, but it works. It just helps out immensely. And the last thing that I'm immensely thankful for, and my favorite thing that I love about the Veloster, is this. We are on the passenger side, and the reason we're on this side is because, for those of you who know, the biggest charm about the Veloster, besides its shape and design, is its 3rd door. And even though I know some of you will argue that you should have had 4 doors, it's super cool. it kind of defines what the Veloster is. Even the newer second gen has the exact same thing going for it. And it's just kind of nice to have an extra door to have passengers go in rather than a 2-door. So for those of you complaining that it should have been 4, yeah, you're right. I mean, it would have been nice to have a 4th door, but it would have also been worse if you only had 2. And they're pretty ample spacing. I mean, I've taken my mom and younger sister in the back, and they actually usually don't complain very much. Only downside is if you're a little taller, you got to be careful with this portion right here. And actually, funny enough, if we open the hatch, it actually warns you to be careful when closing, because as you can see, it'll probably hit them on the head, because yeah. But that's about it, guys. Those are 5 things I love about the car. I know it seems very simple, but to be honest, those are the things that I focus on the most, because obviously having music makes your ride more enjoyable. So having such a nice media player, easily accessible, having, you know, the steering wheel controls obviously makes it nice. The fact that not just the media player is nice, but the overall sound system is pretty decent for the price you get. Obviously some of the other stuff are, actually most of these things I mentioned are consumer based. I can honestly go on because there's a lot of other tidbits that I like that might sound minor, like the LED accent lighting on the front headlights. And not just that, but one thing that I did mention about the second gen omitting is having fog lights. As you can see, we have fog lights still. They, for whatever reason, removed them. You know what? The powertrain is actually really nice too. You know, that's obviously an obvious one. And it's probably the reason why a lot of you guys chose the Veloster platform. Having stock 18-inch rims coming standard on them for the later models. And last but not least, again, for those of you who have turbo models, having rear LED taillights is kind of a nice little touch for, I guess, a little higher end version. But that's it for this video, guys. I know this was kind of short and sweet, but it was requested because I obviously ranted about the 5 things I hated about the car. So these are 5 things I love, and they kind of stand out to me the most. But in the comments below, as always, tell me what you guys think. What are 5 things you guys love about the car, or anything that you love that I didn't point out that might be useful for others? Like I said, I do see with the holidays coming up, and now that the second gen models are a lot more out there in the public, you know, I can see people leaning towards these ones as their next platform or newer car investment. As always, guys, thanks for all the love and support. Sorry for the wind noise. It's beautiful weather, but it was kind of windy today. But yeah, guys, as always, thanks for all the love and support, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. You know what I should have said? How much I like all the damn cup holders in this car. You got one there, you got one over there, you got 2 over here, you got 2 in the back. We got cup holders everywhere. And look, guys, I like to live my life extremely dangerously. Oh, the door is closed so you can't tell here. Oh my goodness. And if any of you guys know how bad this is with its range meter, I probably don't have much to go, so I should go get gas.